Here we go. We're on Unit 3, Day 2 notes. The title for today is Graphing Quadratic Functions in Intercept Form. So yesterday we did vertex, and we're going to start with this little warm-up on the top. So it says, what is the general formula for vertex form? This is what we did yesterday. This would be y equals a parenthesis x minus h quantity squared plus k. And here's an actual problem with some numbers in there. So f of x equals x minus 3 squared plus 5. What is the vertex? The vertex is the opposite of the inside, so that becomes a positive 3, and the same as the outside. So again, I'm just going to highlight those so you know that the yellow goes with yellow and blue goes with blue. What is the AOS, axis of symmetry? It always is x equals, and then whatever the x value is. So again, I'm going to highlight that yellow because those match up together. Then it says, what does the vertex form tell you easily? Well, vertex form, what we just did here, really easily tells you the vertex. I would also take or axis of symmetry because you see in this example we just did, those kind of go together. If you know the vertex, you know the axis of symmetry. They go hand in hand. Okay, that was our little warm-up. So here's our first problem. It wants you to graph this. It is a problem just like yesterday. F of x equals 2 times x minus 2 quantity squared minus 5. The form is vertex form like we did yesterday. The vertex is the opposite of the inside, the same as the outside. Axis of symmetry is going to match that x value. So let me go through and highlight those yellow pieces so you know those match up, and the blue pieces so you know those match up. Min or max, we talked about this yesterday. If the equation is positive, it opens up, so the graph looks something like this little U shape. If it opens up, there is no maximum, there's only a minimum. The minimum happens to be the same point as the vertex, so you can just copy that down again. We also touched on this yesterday. X-intercepts are a little bit difficult to find because we're doing this on the calculator, or we don't have a calculator. We're doing this virtually. It's a little bit hard to explain to you. We have done X-intercepts before. You would type the equation into your calculator. You would look at the picture. You would hit second trace 0, and you would find the two X-intercepts. You could also do it on Desmos if some of you know how to do Desmos. Let's jump to Y-intercept. I'm going to do this right underneath here where I have some space. All you do is take the original problem, f of x. You go ahead and write all of the information down except for wherever you see an x, you put a 0 in that spot. And all you do is you could type this into your calculator, you could type this into your cell phone, or do it by hand, I guess, and you would get out that the answer is 3. So what that means is if you put 0 in for x, the y value is 3. And these are really the points that I need, and I'm going to take a moment and put them on my graph. So my vertex is over 2, down -5, so I'll put my dot there. My axis of symmetry is that line that cuts the graph in half, so I'm going to take a moment and put my red dotted line there. Oops. And then I'm going to also put my minimum, that's already on there, and I'm going to put my y-intercept. My y-intercept is at 0, 3. So I put those points on there. I know my graph opens upward. So I know my graph, it's not perfect, but it looks something like that. So increasing intervals and decreasing intervals. It is increasing on this yellow side over here, which starts at that axis of symmetry. So that starts at 2 and it goes until positive infinity. It is decreasing on this blue side, decreasing from negative infinity to positive 2. Then this end behavior part might only be for Miss Idscience class, but it's also just good to know. This is where the ends of the graphs are pointing. Both of the ends are pointing up, so both of these would be positive infinity. The domain is the x values. This goes forever to the left and forever to the right, meaning all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. The range is the y value. So how low does this go? The lowest it goes is -5, which is going to get a bracket. And then the highest it goes is all the way up to positive infinity. So there's our first problem, a little recap from yesterday. Underneath there it says, remember, how do you find the x-intercepts and y-intercepts on your calculator? Well, take out this calculator part. We're going to say by by hand because we don't really have a calculator to be working with. So we're going to just talk about how you do this by hand really quick. So the X-intercepts is a little trickier. We will try to do it whenever we can, but we will go ahead and say plug in 0 for Y and solve for X. We're not going to do that too much. The one we will do a lot is the Y-intercept. We've done that a couple times today and yesterday. To do this, you're going to plug in 0 for X and solve for Y. Okay. Here we go with our new stuff for intercept form. Today it says, given the quadratic function, state the x-intercepts. Both of these problems are in intercept form. So what you're going to do is each factor or each piece that has x in it, so this first one is x plus 4, you're going to write it down and you're going to set it equal to 0. What you're going to do is solve for x. So the only thing I need to do here is subtract 4 to the other side, and I have x by itself, and that is one of my answers. That is one of my x-intercepts. I'm going to do it for every piece. This other piece, x minus 5, I write it down. I set it equal to 0. I solve for x. So I add 5 to the other side, and I get that x is equal to 5. This problem has two different answers. I solve for them both. This next problem, I need to add a little something on there. It equals y. This next problem, I'm going to go ahead and take each piece with x in it. So 2x minus 1, set it equal to 0. Solve for x, so I add 1 to the other side. I divide both sides by 2, and I get that x is equal to 1/2. And I'm going to do it again for this other piece over here. X minus 9 is equal to 0. I add the 9 to the other side, and I get that x is equal to 9. And again, two answers there. Okay. This next part, how do you know if a graph opens up or down? What does this mean? We briefly talked about it yesterday with mins and maxes and things like that, but here's a little recap. If it opens up, the equation would be positive. If it opens up, the equation is positive. The graph is going to look something like this little graph. Okay? If the graph looks something like this, it means that you have a minimum. On the other hand, if your graph opens down, it means that your equation has a negative sign in the front. If it has a negative sign in the front, it's going to have a reflection, so it opens downward. In this type of situation, it means that you're going to have a maximum. So those are your two situations. Okay, let's recap on this formula. Graphing in intercept form. The equation is y equals a parenthesis x minus p, x minus q. Intercept form tells us one thing really easily and very quickly. It is the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are p comma 0 and q comma 0. This comes from the p on the inside and the q. That's what helps get you those points. All right, let's do this problem right down below here. F of x equals 3 times x minus 1, x plus 2. It wants to know the form. This form, when it has those two factors, those two sets of parentheses, this form is intercept form. Okay, if you have intercept form, I'm going to do an arrow that tells you really quickly the x-intercept. So I'm going to jump right down here to x-intercepts. Remember, we just did this. You take each piece that has x in it, set it equal to 0, and you solve. So the first piece is equal to 1, so my x-intercept is 1 comma 0. Take your other piece, x plus 2, set it equal to 0, solve for x. You get that x is equal to negative 2. That is your other x-intercept. Okay, I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to put those on my graph because this is a little tricky, a little conceptual. I take a moment and I put 1 comma 0 onto my graph, and I put negative 2 comma 0 onto my graph. So those are my two x-intercepts. To find the vertex, I'm going to count and find the symmetry, the line that cuts those 2 points in half. So this is a little tricky but the line that cuts these 2 points in half would be at -1/2, and I'm just putting a little red dotted line there. So that would be my axis of symmetry. See how I just counted until they met in the middle? So this means that my vertex, the x value, is at -0.5. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do my little work right here. Okay, what I'm going to do with this to find the vertex is, if I know that the x value is -0.5, I'm going to plug that in to the equation. And I'm going to take that, and I know there's some decimals, and that's okay. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to work it out, and I'm going to get the answer. The answer is negative 6.75. That is the y value. So when I go to my vertex, I found the x value by doing the symmetry, and I found the y value by plugging it in. Axis of symmetry, I already actually drew it on my graph, is that dotted line. That's -0.5. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to plot my vertex. My vertex is over -0.5 and down 6.75. And I know it's a decimal, so I'm kind of freeballing that a little bit. Okay, min and max. If you think about this graph, it is a positive, so it opens up. If it opens up, there is no maximum. The minimum happens to be the same as the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in. I'm going to also need to take a moment, and I'm going to need to find my y-intercept. So I'm going to do that kind of at the bottom here where I have some space. Remember, to do the y-intercept, you take the original problem, and anywhere you see x, you put a 0. And again, you could type that into your phone calculator or do that calculation by hand, but you should get -6. So that means if the x value is 0, the y value is -6. And I can take a moment and I can plot 0, 6 onto my graph. Those are all of my key points I have on my graph. I can connect them the best I can, and I have my parabola. Increasing and decreasing. This graph is increasing on this yellow side. It is increasing starting at -0.5 all the way to positive infinity, and it is decreasing on this blue side. It is decreasing from -infinity to that line again, which is -0.5. The end behavior, this part right here that I'm kind of putting in parentheses, I know Miss Idstein's class, we talked about that a lot. Other classes, not so much, but the ends of the graphs are both pointing up, so that's positive infinity. And then the domain, for parabolas that we're going to do, the domain is always going to be -infinity to positive infinity. That's the x values. And the range is the y values. So the lowest this goes, oops, I don't want a parenthesis. The lowest this goes is a number, -6.75. Numbers get brackets. And then it goes up to positive infinity, and that gets a parenthesis. Again, make sure you're looking on your Canvas page to see what your assignment is tonight. You might have an exit slip, or maybe you have a discussion board, but make sure you're doing that assignment so you can get your daily grade for today.